Hello Straters, it's CreepEvee and I am back, and I am recording this video on a Monday because I am a bad content creator and am running late. I know I run late a lot. I really need to do something about that, but I do have a pretty decent reason this time. I lost my voice and it is only now starting to come back, so I'm going to try recording, but I tried to record a couple times this weekend and it just sounded absolutely terrible, and I did not want to subject you guys to that. I don't know whether it's like a big deal depending on where you live, but in my area, the state fair coming is like a huge thing, and so everybody goes, and so I was excited to go. And so there's plenty of like amusement park rides there, and I scream on amusement park rides. So we rode a ton of rides, and I was screaming the entire time. And I woke up the next morning, and my voice was mutilated. Like I could barely talk without feeling pain. And then the next day, I was still just did not sound very good. So hope you guys will forgive me, and I'm hoping that my voice will stay long enough for me to finish getting a few more games in. But we are playing Ishkana again, so it'll be the last video in our month of Halloween. I'm actually recording this on the 30th. We're just a few hours away from actual Halloween, so very very appropriate that I play it now, I think. So maybe it'll work out. Maybe we'll get a little Halloween luck. I don't know whether that's a thing, but I guess we'll find out. So I'll throw it over to the games. Alright guys, playing against Bruna Light of Alabasta, or Alabaster. What is Alabasta from? It's from something. I think we're going to try this. It's a little rough around the edges, but we'll see what we can do. We are going second. Our opponent is Cosmic Sands. I like the name. Opens up pretty strong. Sensei's Divining Top on turn 1, never a bad play. I think we're going to go for the Terramorphic Expanse. We'll just go ahead and crack it. We'll get a Forest. Almost always want to go for a Forest. But we'll quickly go over what our opponent's deck does. It's disgusting. I actually like Bruna. She has Flying and Vigilance, and whenever she attacks or blocks, you can attach any number of auras on the battlefield, and you may put onto the battlefield attached to it any number of aura cards that would be able to enchant it in its graveyard. In your graveyard. Is it yours or is it any graveyard? Yeah, it's from your graveyard. But it can get auras from your opponent's board, so you have to keep that in mind, which is pretty nice. If I remember correctly, I could be misremembering that. There goes 4 very nice lands down the drain. Oh boy. This deck really needs a Life from the Loam. Drops the top again. But so Bruna has a lot of enchantments that she can go for. She has the one that will give her Annihilator. You have the one that gives her Infect. Several different ones that make her incredibly dangerous and a major threat. So this dude is a little bit too expensive for us to cash right now, so we'll drop Hidden Spider. Doesn't come in handy too often. Normally just almost always just in here as a gimmick card, part of the theme. But it can be pretty cool just sitting around waiting on a flyer to come around. I think it's a flyer, right? Yeah. Which Bruna is a flyer, so maybe our Hidden Spider will get something going for us. We do have a lot of things that combat flyers. So who knows, we might be able to try to knock our opponent out by dropping too many of our flying killers and just keep Bruna at bay. It's going to be tough to do that, but we can do it. We have one in hand. There are several spiders that come in and deal damage to things. This guy does damage to each creature with flying. So this may perhaps be our best possible matchup. I doubt it, but theoretically it could be a great matchup. We're going to be sitting on 5 mana next turn, so what do we do with it? We're still at only 2 card types. So if we use mana efficiently, then we cast Silk Lash. So let us do that. Our opponent seems, well, no, he does have the command tower, so he does have access to blue. Seems like he's kind of struggling to get to the mana he needs, despite having the Divining Top there. The Chromatic Lantern is going to help him get that mana, though. This is an instant speed. I like that. So this is 6. Everything we have is going to be pretty on the expensive side here. Kessig Recluse and Grave Robber. Trying to decide which one is better. I think we just go for Grave Robber. Do it like that. And swing with our Silk Lash, because we actually have some of the ones on board that do a fair amount of damage, which is kind of rare for this deck. Normally we're going to be relying on Ishkana to burn our opponent, but uses Divining Top. Our opponent is doing a whole lot of top deck manipulation right now, but isn't seeming to find what he needs, unless he's holding it all back. But I'm not going to complain too much. Gets an Academy Ruins. I don't know, maybe he's going for it. No, he's not tapping for it. Burnished Heart, now that could be helpful for him. Get a Gold Gary Signet to work with. That's not bad at all. Let's go ahead and get it into play. So this guy is where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. So 6. Our opponent can respond to that, is the only thing. Target flying, okay. So I think that if our opponent messes up and doesn't block the right one, then we'll pump it. If not, then we'll probably cast something. He definitely is going to want to block here, or maybe he's just planning on not blocking. I guess that is what his decision is going to be. So let's go 1, 2. Let's put 1 into this and make 4 mana. So he'll get. Did he not get the pump? Oh, it's creatures in our graveyard. Oh my gosh. I am very silly. Well, that cuts us out from being able to cast something this turn. But you live and learn. So we will pass turn. Our opponent has us wide open at this point, which is kind of scary considering the way Bruna operates. She can get haste depending on what enchantment you get going with her. Cosmic Sands. That's a really fun name. I like that. But I am a little bit afraid of him right now. Grand Abolisher. That's not terrible for us. Eaten by Spiders is pretty much the most reactive card we're going to have. And we can still do that on our main step. So, well, our main step. Throw down a Forest. Just not getting to many exciting opportunities here. I guess we can swing in and not make the mistake with Grave Robber that we did before. I say we as if you guys were a part of it. No, that was all me. That was me. Well, let's go. Gary Signet, Yuri 7 drop, right? A big boy. So we can do 3. 3. And cast you. Yeah, that'll be fine. Archweaver, one of the biggest spiders we can throw down. A 7 drop to get a 5/5 with reach and trample. That is totally worth it. Totally worth it. Gets 2 islands. So he has color coverage now, even without the Chromatic Lantern. So this is cast spells and activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Okay. Grand Abolisher. That's going to be kind of annoying. Or Grand Arbiter, excuse me. Grand Abolisher is already irritating. So, of course I like to get the value out of it, but we could cast, like, there's really nothing we can do to get more card types in our graveyard right now, and that's our biggest problem. Let's see what our opponent has in mind here, whether he might declare blockers or not. Looks like he plans on not, so let's try to get the Kessig Recluse in first. Oh yeah, it's one more. That's how math works. So now Somberwald would be 5, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So no dice there. We're gonna have to pass. At least this guy has Death Touch, so he's a solid blocker. And with Reach, Brunna isn't getting anywhere near us. I would love to get Ishkana out, but I really don't want to get her out if it's a waste of time. That's my biggest thing right now. And I'm worried that it would be a waste because I'm not getting the Delirium trigger. And I was just praising this deck for how quickly it gets to Delirium. It was really, really solid on getting there, and now, just for the life of me, Gilded Lotus foil looks very nice. And that's the promo one, right? I think it was a promo when it was printed like that. But anyway, it's pretty, nonetheless. Oh, that's why it costs more. Grand Arbiter, I just realized that. Or Grand Arbiter, not Grand Abolisher. There we go. Messing up all my words. What all is in our discard at this point? Not much. We need something besides what we have right now. If we could get like a tutor. Brunna comes down, so we've got another spider on board now. It's a game now, boys. or girls, depending on who is watching. Descendant's Path, that's an interesting one. But eaten by spiders is really what we want. We could definitely kill it with Silk Lash, but we actually want to get card types in our graveyard, and right now I don't think we have it. This is a sorcery, right? Okay, so yeah. So we're definitely going to want to use Eaten by Spiders. And I kind of want to do it sooner than later, because I don't know what he might be able to do at instant speed. Of course, he is blue, so he does have counters. So the sooner we do that, the better. So I think we're going to do this. It's a little bit risky to do it this early. Sometimes you want to do it reactively, but the good news is that if this fails, we do still have the option to use Silk Lash. Well, we would, but I don't have enough mana to use Silk Lash effectively to kill it now, but goes with Forbid. Does he cast it for buyback, though? He does. Well, let's figure out what we want to do about that. And the answer is nothing, considering that we don't have any way to do anything about that. Is this going to cost 4 now? Descendant's Path. Maybe it'll help us out. At least we are at 3 card types now. So there's nobody that swings. Well, Archweaver swings and can kill Bruna if he wants to block with her. Otherwise, I mean, Silk Lash can swing, but it's not going to kill anything. The only thing that it would kill would be Grand Abolisher, and he's not going to block with Grand Abolisher. Uses up that mana. Looking at the top of his deck again. Decides to block with Bruna. When it blocks, oh my god, I forgot that happens when it blocks. Well, yeah. Man, oh man, I forgot that it was when it blocks. I forgot. I thought it was only when she attacked. Alright, so she now has Double Strike and Immortality. So, yeah. Well, it does give some immortality. Return gives some immortality. Okay. Yeah, alright, so we now see that there is a problem. Gonna have to be pretty careful now. Alright, opponent has 3 cards in hand. We know one of them. Unfortunately, the one that we know is kind of scary. Plays a Trading Post. So that gives them a discard outlet. Yeah, I would imagine that it's mostly a discard outlet for him to put an enchantment in the discard so that he gets it when he attacks with Bruna. Would be what I assume it's there for. So he's sitting on a Forbid and that. Gives it protection from any one color, right? So yeah, green. So that's not good. But luckily the only thing else that he has is that forbid. So we're good. We're good. We are going to take 10 here, but... And the steps are only until end of turn, right? Oh yeah, I forgot he has Divining Top. He has access to one of 3 cards on the top now, so that could lead to problems. But this is till end of turn. So next turn it's vulnerable to Silk Lash again. Me making that mistake and attacking though is kind of a blessing in disguise, considering that we're now at 4 card types. Search your library for an ore and equipment, reveal it, put it into your hand. Alright, so does Bruna do it from hand? Enchant it. Or is on the battlefield. Okay, so he needs a way to discard. Oh yeah, he can discard it to trading post. That seems good. What did he grab? Spectral Ward. Creatures +2/+2 protection from all colors. Okay. Not usually the one they search for, but to each their own for sure. Well, nothing we can do about that. Normally you would see them go for the Infect one or the Annihilator one. Had he got the Infect one there, he had game. The Annihilator one would have pretty much put us to game. I feel like there's a couple that probably could have gotten him more damage. So not sure precisely why he played it out the way he did. Problem now is that I don't know how we win from here. Protection from all colors. So that deals damage, not loses or gets minus. So that will not work. Oh boy. Well, I don't know what to do. Because I'm pretty sure we're just dead next turn. At least is the way I would interpret it. I would like to interpret it differently, but I don't think I can. So I guess we swing with everything because it doesn't matter. And maybe he can block all 4. And he has no reason not to block them. So block there. Bruna gets her ability. So he chooses not to block all of them. I don't know how I feel about that decision. Because that's 2, 4, 6. So that puts him to 4. So if I somehow had the right amount of mana, which I don't, but let's just go through what we could have done here. And why I think that his play was a mistake. I would have certainly blocked with everything. Oh yeah, it costs 1 more because of Arbiter. What I would have done differently would have been to block with everything, because Ishkana can come in, and if I had enough mana I could use her ability. I mean, I guess of course he has the forbid, but I would just go with the safest possible route and at least block a couple more of them, if not all of them. I think would be the safest bet. But good game to our opponent. It was a pretty good match. Just couldn't clinch it out in the end. We had 1 or 2 turns where we just weren't able to do anything, and I think that is where we lost out. Alright, gotta go up against Olaro. This is not a fun match to play. I hate to mulligan away a hand with land, especially because everybody knows how great I am at drawing land. So I'm going to keep it. We do have a Soul Ring, so pretty good mana acceleration. Normally decks want to ramp straight into their commanders. Unfortunately, this deck not so much. So even if you start out with a really good, strong land base, if you don't have a way to put some of that card draw into your discard, it's not going to go super great for you. We do have the option to dump a Traverse the Ulenwald next turn, because this turn we're going to put the Soul Ring out for sure. So we're going to be dealing with a Loro gaining a lot of life, which is not great for us considering that we are a burn deck at our most basic form. Thespian Stage. I'm wondering what he's going to go for with the Thespian Stage. Looks at the top with Divining Top. More land. I hate to play Traverse the Ulenwald early, but it kind of comes down to, do we need to get card types in the graveyard, which we do. And that is a sorcery, but we're going to hold back for right now. If you don't know what a Loro does, I guess I should go over him. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 2 life. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card. Your opponent loses life. At the beginning of your upkeep, if a Loro the Ageless Aesthetic is in your command zone, you gain 2 life. So kind of a precursor to the Dominion, the Dominion mechanic in the most recent Commander set, where you can still do things while inside the command zone. It's pretty cool, except when it's a Loro, and then I hate it. Let's just get Vraska out early. We do have Netcaster Spider now, pretty good. Go ahead and get the +1 on Vraska. As much as I'd like to blow up that top, unfortunately it does activate at instant speed. So what is this guy, our little Kithkin here? We'll always yield to that, unfortunately. Lifelink, protection from creatures with converted mana cost 3 or greater. Okay. Oh, so does that mean that he can deal damage to Vraska? I think it does. Solemn Simiclarium, so he does have full mana representation now. Chooses not to swing. We draw into a swamp. Well, in an attempt to get things going here, let's go Solemn Simiclarium, get the Arachnus Web, and I think I'm actually just going to +1 here. There's nothing that I'm really eager to blow up right now. We can play a swamp and go for our Netcaster. Netcaster's still small enough to block the Mist Meadow in terms of its CMC, so we can block it and keep Vraska building up. We can actually minus her next turn and get her tokens, but I don't know whether we want to do that. I think we want to get her to 8, just because she's so good. But at the same time, one of his creatures can't block. The other can. That's going to give us 3 tokens. I don't know, we'll have to consider it. Has protection from CMC 3 or greater. Okay, so I thought it was greater than 3. Well, My opponent chooses to go for me and not Vraska. Unsummon. So pretty neat for him, and we do lose our Arachnus Web, but we'll get it into the discard, which I'm fine with. So we're now at 1 card type. Definitely going to need more than that. So a nice big spider now. Let's +1 Vraska. It makes me nervous to do it, but we'll do it. So this is 1, 2, so 6 mana. This is a 7-drop. So huge for a spider. And then this is whenever it blocks with flying. Okay. So not anything that we're super worried about right now. Don't really want to attack. Give Solemn Simiclarium a free death. You gotta work for his death. So now I have the potential to ult Vraska next turn, even if he attacks with Miss Meadow. I can't block it, but it'll only do 1. So I'll go down to 7, still be able to ult, but the question is whether I want to. And I really don't know yet. So equipping it to the Miss Meadow probably. Protection from white and black. Deals damage, gain 3 life, and return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If he puts it on a Miss Meadow, that becomes a very dangerous thing. We can blow it up with Vraska. Swords to Plowshares, the what was the name of that card? I feel terrible, I don't remember the name of it. Declare Blocker Step. This is coming for Vraska, this is coming for Vraska. I think we'll block here. Vraska can ult. Okay, so that doesn't prevent it from dying. That's good to know. Obelisk of Erd. Really don't know what to do here. I think I need to make the assassins. Just go straight for it. He has 1 card in hand. Alright, then we go Swamp. We're so close to being able to use Traverse for the right things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obelisk of Erd. I'm almost tempted to call Assassin, but I'm going to ignore that temptation and still call Spider, because we have to plan for the future here. But he is at only 1 card in hand, rather. I do enjoy the assassin tokens, considering that it is a big part of my modern deck. It's actually the perfect way to win this game, considering that we're trying to outpace life total. So instant win con doesn't care about how much life Aloro can produce. Sensei's Divining Top technically does give him a 3rd card in hand. So we'll see if the card that he put on top is an answer. He is tapping mana like he's got something. Bounces the obelisk bird. Well, I don't see any reason not to try. Might get us game, so let's go for it. I believe in you, little assassin tokens. No blockers declared. And instant win con 3 times. Alright, so that went pretty well. Didn't exactly work out the spider direction, but it did work out the Vraska direction, which was pretty fun. Alright guys, looks like we're going up against Kalia the Vast, piloted by the Dragon CA. And his hand is a little bit dicey, but I want to try it. Our opponent will be going first. I will quickly go over Kalia. She is gross. She has flying, and whenever she attacks, you can put an angel, demon, or dragon creature from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. So you can imagine how disgusting that is. So we'll just go ahead and tap for black. Well, tap to search for a swamp. I don't know, my brain thinks weird. Oh man, that's about as dumb as it can be. My brain thinks weird. Temple of Malice gets the scry. Alright, so let's drop our 1-drops here. Blood Chief Ascension. And Hidden Spider. I'm thinking about taking the Blood Chief Ascension out, because most of our spiders have like power 1. It has to be power 2 to trigger Blood Chief. So I don't know whether our creatures do damage fast enough and consistently enough to warrant playing it. So I think I would swap it out for something. Arachnogenesis. Let's play you and hold priority for putrefying. Our opponent's commander is flying, so she will trigger Hidden Spider. Probably going to be casting her here. Triggers Hidden Spider. And then on instep, I'm just going to go straight ahead and putrefy her. 5 cards in hand. No way of knowing what dragons or demons she may have in their hand. So I think we just need to go ahead and get rid of that thing and slow our opponent down as much as we can, because our hand is looking a little slow. So we could put them back a couple of turns, which we would definitely benefit from doing. So let's play a swamp and make an Urza's Incubator. And now Hidden Spider will actually be able to get our Blood Chief Ascension going. So it all worked out pretty well, but I don't like it when things work out this well, because that makes me nervous. Yes. Can I always say yes to this? So always yield, always yes. Not often do I want Blood Chief's Ascension to not work out. We do have doubling season in the deck, so it does help it be more consistent. Spore Cap Spider. I'm only at 2 card types right now, which is kind of bumming me out. Let's swing in and do the damage and then see what our opponent is thinking after that. Vraska can lead to a lot of value, so I think we're going to go ahead and slap her down. And then give her her +1, pass it off. Blood Chief Ascension goes. Create X number of creatures attacking you. And then it prevents all damage. Okay. One of the reasons why Blood Chief Ascension does kind of synergize with this deck is because we are on a kind of burn strategy. So it can work out well in that regard. I'll go ahead and +1 Vraska. Drop you. We just have to tap 1 for the Spore Cap. It'll be 2 spiders. Hidden Spider definitely putting in a lot more work than Spore Cap is so far. With that 3 power, going to be able to get us a Blood Chief Ascension trigger. One thing that Arachnogenesis can do is, because our opponent is going to be swinging with multiple creatures, it does provide us with extra creatures. Linvala has 4 more life than you, gain 5 life. Controls more creatures than you, create a 3/3. Alright. So he's going to get both triggers. It's been a while since I was sad that I was doing well. So we're going to actually just pass on straight through. So not really sure what I want to do now. Even Arachnogenesis doesn't get me to the right count for card types. Oh man. I'm tempted to pop the Linvala with Vraska and then swing. We're so close to getting Blood Chief Ascension going. I mean, we could make the Assassins guaranteed and then try to figure out a way to get them through. I think the safer play is to pop the Linvala. Wait a minute, do we have enough counters on there? Oh, it's only 3 or more. I was thinking it was 4. Alright, sweet. Yeah, I'll take that damage. Take that damage all day. So we'll swing Hidden Spider in, I guess. Well, I guess not really a reason. Does this one have reach? Yeah. So he can block it if he wants. Kind of frustrating because I would have liked to make the tokens again. Man, if we could get 2 Vraska kills in a row, that'd be pretty sweet. Vraska EDH, new tech. Chromatic Lantern. So not much for our opponent so far this turn. Gisela. Yeah, okay, so she's not the one that does the thing that I was thinking. Flying, First Strike, and Lifelink. Still a problem, but not as much of a problem as it would have been. I was thinking that that was her sister. Or I don't know whether they were sisters. I don't think they were actually sisters, but her sister card, should I say. So now, do I pop it? Because technically this thing could flip next turn. And if it does, it's not good. So I'm actually going to pop it. Which is kind of risky. My opponent is 4 cards in hand, playing a very dangerous deck. But I still don't lose Vraska in the process. It's just I'm probably not going to get to a point where I can use her destroy ability again in this match. Swinging with Hidden Spider. Man, Hidden Spider. Earlier I said that it was just here, you know, as a gimmicky, just here for the theme, but I don't know, man. Maybe Hidden Spider is the hidden tech of this format. No, of course it's not. Just we've been lucky enough to go up against several decks back to back that have been really into flying creatures. What does this thing do? Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Trample, Haste, Protection from black and red. So a very big angel with all of them. Just every last single one of the keywords. First Strike. Man, the thing has haste. Alright, so First Strike. This is kind of interesting. I want to see where this attack is directed. Has protection from black and red. So attacking Vraska. I think I'm going to let that happen. I don't really see a reason. Like, Vraska's been incredibly valuable so far, but I would rather save this Arachnogenesis for a little bit more of a crucial opportunity, and that just didn't feel like it. Vraska definitely put in plenty of work, so she does not have anything to feel sad about. What we have to feel sad about right now is the fact that I don't know how we're going to get rid of this thing. Let's drop a Soul Ring. I really wish that we were actually at enough card types right now. So we already have an instant, so even if we do Arachnogenesis, we won't get it there. What if I swing both? Because either way, whichever one he kills, I will still be able to be at Delirium. Or I really don't have to swing both. I could just swing Hidden Spider. Because it's the one that is actually a threat to something. So I think I'll actually do that. So we'll get Enchantment as a creature type. We don't have it in there yet. So although Hidden Spider has done so much work, this card is without a doubt, well, I don't know, it and Vraska seem to be the MVPs of this game so far. Alright, so now, main phase 2, we get our commander out. Oh, hold on, let's see. She doesn't cost that much anymore. No, not what I wanted to do. Cast. I guess I could have attacked. Well, no, that would have defeated the purpose. Graph Widow. And I guess pass. We'll hold priority. We don't have enough for Vraska's effect, unfortunately. We do have enough for Arachnogenesis, and could use Swamp Yard on one of our dudes. This thing's first strike. So this does work, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen this card. It's the original Achroma. Or maybe I'm used to seeing the other art. That's probably it. I assume there's other art. I don't know. I'm really confused right now. Oh man. Don't I look professional? Alright, let's see what you got. I mean, block and Swarm Yard? I think that's what I need to do. So we'll regenerate Spore Cap, I guess, and use Spore Cap as a blocker. Best thing I can come up with. And Arachnogenesis just isn't enough value yet. I think it'll be enough value when Kalia attacks. The important question is whether we will actually live when Kalia attacks. Second Harvest. So we're getting close to being able to do something here. So what I believe the play is to Arachnogenesis and then Second Harvest and then Ishkana and try to win the game. Because I'm doing the math in my head right now, but I think we'll be able to do cool things. Because that doubles them essentially, so that'll be 6. Kind of depends on how many creatures swing with Arachnogenesis. I don't think we'll be able to do it in one shot, but we can definitely put a hurting on our opponent. And then of course the tokens make it easier because they have Cripple of Right. Whisper Silk Cloak comes down, that creates problems. Kalia equips that. Then we got Bad News Bears. But even with that, I mean, that doesn't stop the Arachnogenesis. So, trying to decide whether I want to regenerate here. I think we will. I think we'll regenerate Spore Cap. The number of creatures that swing here ultimately determines the effectiveness of Arachnogenesis, I think. Which looks like it's only going to be 3, unless something here is like a token creator. Whenever you gain control of all artifacts that creature controls. So yeah, that dude has to be blocked. But we'll just prevent damage anyway, so we don't even have to worry about it. But we can prevent damage from all non-spiders. So what that means is that we're going to block to the point where We can kill them, but they won't be able to kill us. So Arachnogenesis, and we'll still have enough mana for second harvest. Alright, let's go into block step. This thing has first strike, protection from black and red, so we can kill it this turn. So I always feel afraid blocking with my commander. So a block, 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 block. We don't have enough to kill that thing though. Oh well. We'll just block it. I know it can't do damage, but we'll block it anyway, just to feel safe. So just one of the many reasons why Arachnogenesis is a fantastic card. Lets you do things like this. Blood Chief Ascension deals 2. So that might actually be important as far as the amount of damage that we do. So Blood Chief Ascension triggers, and then we're going to play you. And then I believe we'll be getting close to being game. If nothing else, we can obviously swing for a lot of damage. So let's play a swamp. Let's see, she is 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Activate effect. Lose 1 for each spider. That actually, I think that's lethal. I think that's exactly lethal actually, because that's 12. And then, yeah, so 14. So that was exactly lethal. So good on you, Ishkana. We finally got a good game. It's been a struggle to get it. Oh wow, that was clutch. That game was not free. We had to work for that. I'm proud of that one. Alright guys, well I am pretty happy with how those games turned out. The first two may be a little rough, but that last game I'm pretty happy with. I definitely had to play some rough matches to get all of this footage. This deck, it needs something. Obviously the deck could be improved. You can obviously make it a little less budget friendly to put in some of the cards that would really help you out. But overall, if this is something that you just want to play kind of casually, this is definitely a deck that you can build for a very fun and affordable price. If you like the theme, of course I love tribal decks, and this is a very easy tribal deck to build on a budget because most of the cards are extremely cheap. It's just one of those weird tribes that really hasn't seen much support outside of getting Ishkana. There are a few cards here and there that make it work a lot, but overall Ishkana is the only thing that really holds it all together. But we are grateful that they gave us Ishkana, because then we got to play this deck, and I actually like it. It's a little rough to work with, but if you like Delirium, if you like spamming the board with tokens, that kind of deck, this is a great option for you. And there's so much you can do with this deck. Black and green, just limitless options when it comes to commander. So this is a deck that you could definitely evolve. So I'll leave the link to the original deck list that I worked off of. Like I said, I only made a couple of changes, but you'll be able to see everything here. So I definitely recommend it. I really enjoyed it, especially that last game. That was so clutch right there at the very last second. We were definitely in rough shape if we didn't have that Arachnogenesis. But that is the nature of the deck, and that is the nature of the game. We let him swing in and caught him in our web. We stayed true to the tribe, and I'm happy with it. So time to wrap this thing up. And I do want to thank you guys for supporting me on the month of Halloween. It was really fun to make these videos. I like doing themes and things like that, so I'd love to do more stuff like that in the future, not just holidays. If you guys have any suggestions for types of themes, or just any decks in general that you guys want to see, of course, I love hearing back from you guys and producing the type of content that you guys want tailor-fitted for you. I'm big about that. Really want to make that happen for you guys, so let me know down in the comments. Of course, we are getting close to when the Commander 17 decks will be available on MTGO. So I haven't checked the poll yet, but last time I checked, the Dragon deck was pulling ahead for the deck that I'll be using. So I'm pretty excited about that. So lots of good things coming up, and you guys' deck suggestions always play a major role in that, so please let me know and I will do my best to make it happen. Also, just kind of want to get a feel from you guys, and of course let me know in the comments below what you guys would be interested in as far as streaming matches, potentially on Twitch, and then putting some of the footage on YouTube. Dan and I had kind of talked a little bit about it. I'd have to figure out a way to fit it into my schedule, but I think it would be a fun thing to do to kind of mix things up, keep things fresh, and maybe you guys would enjoy that. So let me know down in the comments below whether you think that's a good idea, whether you think it's a waste of time and you don't want to see it. Let me know. Be perfectly honest with me. Honesty helps, and I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, I just always like hearing from you wonderful, wonderful stratters out there. But time to move into the shilling. If you like the video, leaving it a like really does help us out, motivates us, and subscribing helps us out even more. And you'll be able to see all of my videos as well as the other videos made by the other wonderful people here at Magic Gathering Strat. We love you and we appreciate you. And as far as my channel, I'll have the link to my channel down below. That way you can jump on over there. I have a few videos, probably one coming out tonight. And I'll leave the link to my Facebook page where you can go and keep up with the videos that I make there, as well as the videos that I make for Strat. They'll all be in one place for you. It's pretty convenient. So tons of buttons to push, tons of things to follow, lots of things to subscribe to. All of them lead to great fun and enjoyment for the whole family, so I highly recommend them. And with all of that being said, guys, I will see you in the next one.